Welcome back to This Old House in Barrington, Rhode Island.
Today, we'll show you the results of our seaside transformation.
I love it. It's open, it's functional, and it's gorgeous.
We'll wrap up work with solar shades and a high-tech thermostat.
At first glance, you think it's just a thermostat, but this is really the basis of a home automation system.
And we'll see all the design ideas that are making this house a home. How many guest bedrooms have a view like that?
Coming up on This Old House. Well, this is it, Norm. We are wrapping up another project. And you know, it was only 5.5 months ago that we stepped off a Richard's boat onto this beach in Barrington, Rhode Island to start this project. And we've done a lot, and we've actually seen a lot in 5 months.
We have. You know, it's a small state, but there's a lot to enjoy. We saw some of the great architecture and toured one of the historic mansions in Newport.
We also got up to Providence to see the city. That's where our architect and our designer are from. And we also went to the southern coast of Rhode Island to do a coastal management story in a place called South County.
Right, and don't forget, we had a classic Rhode Island clam bake right here on the beach.
Clams and quahogs, what do you call them?
Quahogs.
All right, well, whatever. Anyway, so now we get to take in everyone's hard work and admire the house because it is looking good.
It sure is.
And there he is, the man of the hour, our general contractor, Andy Tiplady, who builds himself a nice beach barbecue, but an even nicer house. Congratulations, Andy.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Yeah, we're very proud of the project. Came out really nice. I tell you, it has a lot to do with Mary Brewster, the architect, and her staff. They really put a lot into the house, transforming it from where it was to what it is now.
It's come a long way.
From the wave shingles up there above, the brackets, that midline trim, the windows and door styles, that sleeping porch, my favorite spot.
Good one, isn't it?
Yeah, and this deck on the back, giving you extraordinary views of the bay.
Sure.
I can't tell you how much we are proud of this project.
Well, you know, Andy, it starts with a design, but somebody's got to execute it, and you and your crew did a fantastic job. I mean, there was a lot of work to be done here in a short period of time. You had to do major demo to start, then a lot of structural steel so you could open up the space inside the house, and then a lot of new framing.
Yeah, and you had to build it to stand up to the elements. I mean, we're right here on the bay, and so you guys used the right shingles on the roof and the way that they wove the corners on the sidewall shingles, flashed the windows and the doors properly, even down to the copper work on this porch you love so much, anything to keep that water away from the house.
Yeah, I think we got a pretty good handle on it. We put some good products into it, and I think Jeff and Michelle are going to be very happy with this for a long time.
I think they're going to love it. And I tell you what, I love the outside. I can't wait to see the inside.
Richard's inside with the homeowners, getting things ready.
Well, Jeff, when we first got here, this basement was dark and dank. Look at it now, it is just terrific.
Richard, it's been quite the transformation. You know, our budget was getting tight when it came time to finish the basement.
Sure.
So really all we did, we replaced that unique green carpet that we had down here.
Right.
Simple tile floor.
That's great.
We replaced the drop ceiling with another one. And then finally, the one thing we did do was we put in bigger windows to let in more natural light and appreciate the view.
I tell you, I would sit at that office and look out the window, I would get nothing done.
It's incredible. It's just like being on our own boat.
All right, so you got an office here.
This is my office here for when I'm working from home.
What are you guys doing over here?
Well, we're still moving our furniture in, of course, and this is going to be Michelle's home office right here.
All right.
And then over here is just family area right now, some pillows on the floor for our 4-year-old Riley. And when she gets older, she's probably going to want her own TV area down here for her and her friends.
That's coming sooner than you think.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so the reason you got all this space out here is that we worked hard to put all the mechanical stuff in this closet right here.
Well, we appreciate all the efforts, for sure.
All right, so don't be scared. It looks a little daunting, but it's pretty simple. It's a gas-fired condensing boiler. It makes hot water very efficiently.
Right.
Now, we use that water to come over here to an air handler for this first floor. Heated water goes through a coil right here. Air blows across it to be heated, or we can cool it. There's another one of these on the second floor.
Sure.
Now, inside this boiler, we also can make hot water for faucets, but we don't want to use this as the principal source of hot water for faucets. We want to use it as a backup. We have a solar system. 2 panels up on the roof, comes down to this heat exchanger right here. And when the sun is out, the energy is transferred into this 80-gallon tank. If the sun is out, this tank is warm. That means we leave the gas-fired boiler off.
Fantastic. But now with all this technology in here, what do I need to do to keep it running right?
There isn't much you have to do. There's no circulators to be oiled or anything like that. The one thing I want you to pay attention to is air filtration.
Okay.
This is the return coming back to this air handler. This is an air filter right here. Here's the clean side.
Right.
And if you look, this still has all our construction dust
wow.
on it right here, so we'll change that before we go. You really should change the filter here on the upstairs unit once a year, probably in the fall.
Okay, that's easy to do.
But what you're probably going to do most is sit in your office or sit near an internet connection and see how much energy you're saving from the solar. Here's the solar. It's got a Wi-Fi connection right here. So yesterday we turned it on, and this is the tank temperature. The tank immediately went from 78 up to 105 degrees. This is the collector temperature. And this is how much energy you saved right here and how much we stored.
Fantastic.
There's also some cool technology upstairs I got to show you.
Sounds great.
So up here on the first floor, we've got a 7-inch digital screen, and at first glance, you think it's just a thermostat. You can see the current temperature inside the building, your settings to raise or lower the temperature, but also the relative humidity indoors and the outdoor temperature.
Cool.
But it's also a home automation system. You see right here that we can hit this weather button, and over the internet, we'll pick up the local weather, both the high and low temperature for today,
Sure.
but also we can get a local forecast. And so this will give us a 5-day forecast.
Wow.
And we can get a current feed in radar, so you can see that storm coming right up the bay. It'll also notify you when to service those filters too.
Okay.
And if you're not sure what to do with it, you just hit this photo album button and all your digital images show up in a slideshow.
That's fantastic. Richard put together quite the cool system for us.
It is, and it was a great crew here, I got to tell you. The mechanical contractor, the plumber, the electrician, they did a great job. You're going to be comfortable and efficient for a long time.
Thanks again.
All right.
The design team is well underway setting up the furnishings on the first floor, and the last item to be installed are the window treatments, and they're brought to us by Ian Gibbs. Now, Ian, with all these windows and a southern exposure, window treatments are a must.
Definitely. I think the best thing for this application would be to use some sort of a roller shade product. So what I have set up here are a few different samples of the different materials that are available in. First is a solid semi-opaque material.
It's a nice material, but I lose my view totally.
Yeah, you would. And with something like this one over here, this is sheer, very light filtering, but unfortunately doesn't really have the UV protection that some of our other materials have.
Right, and UV protection is important because you want to block as much of that as you can, otherwise the rugs and the furniture and the art is going to fade.
Yeah, that's why our solar shade materials, here we've got a 10% solar material. This blocks out 90% of the sun's UV rays. I also have here a 5% solar material which blocks out 95% of the sun's solar rays.
Right, so it's blocking a lot of the UV, yet I can still see through it. I know there's a view out there, and it looks like a very fine screen. How is this made?
It's a synthetic woven material, so it's very durable and also easy to clean.
Looks good. Now you call it a roller screen that we're using.
Yeah, the reason why it's referred to a roller is because the fabric rolls off the back of a tube.
All right, goes down and up pretty smoothly, and it's totally concealed behind this valance, which I really like. It's the same color as the trim, so it blends in nicely. Now when you put it back down, you start to see that there is a view beyond it. It blocks the UV. What a great solution. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Up here on the second floor, one of the finishing touches we're working on deals with storage. Now, the master bedroom isn't big enough for dressers and bureaus, and that means that the master closet has got to work extra hard. And helping us with that today is Erin Hardy. Erin, looks like you've pretty much got it finished. Show us around.
Sure. On the left-hand side, as you walk in, we designed some hooks, which are great for hanging a bathrobe or parking a beach bag.
Wow, a closet with a parking spot, huh? That's a first. All right, and obviously shoe storage right here.
Yep, we did this tall stack of shoe shelves, which is really great for packing a lot of shoes into a small space.
And is this storage for him and her?
It is shared, yep.
All right, so you're going to come back and break up the fight when they're, rumbling over the space here?
I'm pretty certain we're not going to need to come back because there's definitely enough space for both of them.
All right, well, we'll see. Now, whose space is this?
Now, this is Jeff's hanging space. There's low hanging below with shelves above, which is really great for his everyday clothing, kind of the Monday through Friday.
Right, and then what have you got planned for the corner?
The corner would be more for things that he's not wearing every single day. Maybe a suit he's wearing twice a month, weekend clothes.
And do you guys take time to get into the heads of your clients to find out what they have, what they need?
That's our job.
All right, sounds good.
So we also have some sliding racks, a belt rack,
Oh, yeah, that is clever.
and a tie rack up above.
Out when you need them and then just tuck them away when you don't. Nice.
Absolutely.
Now, see, this is interesting. You got storage here behind closed doors, even though we can close the door to the closet. Do we need to hide our stuff behind another set of doors?
We really use doors in closets sparingly, but sometimes it's nice to hide away some personal items or a mess.
All right, nice. And you even took time to put some laundry in for us, too. You guys think of everything.
Yep, there's a double laundry hamper in here, which is great for separating out lights and darks or regular versus dry cleaning.
Right, okay. And then let me guess, this side over here, all Michelle.
It is all Michelle's. Yep.
A little bigger than his.
The big side for the woman. So we really did a long hanging space here, which would be great for her dresses, gowns, or pants hanging long on a hanger. Shelving above, maybe for some handbags. Some additional storage here.
A little bit of hanging, a little bit of folded storage, and then drawers, may I?
Absolutely.
And what have we got? Oh, look at that, huh? I haven't seen that before.
So this is a velvet lined jewelry drawer, which is really great for laying out all of her jewelry so she can really see what she has.
I'm gonna have to tell Jeff it's looking a little thin. He's gonna have to fill that up.
I think Michelle will appreciate that.
All right, so it looks like you guys have done a ton with a small space. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you. Well, the clouds and rain are rolling in, but despite that, it is all bright and sunny back here in Riley's bedroom, thanks to our interior designer, Lisa Newman Paratore. Lisa, you designed this room for us. In fact, you did the entire house, and it looks great.
Thank you.
Tell me about what you did for Riley.
Well, Riley's 4, so of course she wanted a bright pink room, which would not have been a wise choice from a long-term perspective.
You think she might change her mind?
I know she's going to change her mind.
Okay.
So we went with yellow because it's really a nice warm neutral and it's a soft transition off of the hallway.
Right.
But then I did promise her that we'd put in a lot of pink, so
Okay.
I accented with things that are very easy to change down the road, like a pillow and a lampshade and a little desk chair.
A lot easier to change these than to repaint the entire room, all right?
Exactly, and
So,
very inexpensively.
desk chair you added. I mean, what furniture did you add? Tell me about what's going on here.
Well, the bed is a family piece. This is something that Riley's grandfather built a long time ago.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's new to her. It's her first really big girl bed.
Oh, that's great.
And the artwork was theirs from their previous home, but everything else I brought in fresh.
So we've got storage over here, obviously.
Yep, and the desk, which really, again, makes it feel like a big girl room to her and
Right.
gives her a little surface to work on. All white because that helps to expand the space visually.
Okay. And we've got more storage in a brand new closet. And I just came from a closet that was well organized, and it looks like this one is going to be
Yeah.
well organized too.
It's a pair of closets. It gives her a ton of storage space. There's low hanging bars, which is great for somebody her age. And it allows all the clutter to get tucked away so she has a lot of floor space to play on.
Great. And the reason we have all this space is because we added about 500 square feet to the house. This is it. And it gives us another luxury that we didn't have, which is a second full bath. And
Yes.
this house only had a half bath upstairs. Now they've got the master and this one. So this is nice.
Right.
What'd you do in here?
Well, again, I took inspiration from the artwork, which they already owned, and pulled some color out of it to accent.
Sure.
It's great, colorful artwork, so it could, again, be changed down the road to other colors and change the feeling overall in the space.
And then we've got everything we'd expect in a full bath, from a shower to a toilet and a vanity. And we've seen this trick before where it's a standalone piece of furniture, which is a nice feel.
Yes, what I love about this is it, again, gives the room a feeling of more spaciousness. It looks like a piece of furniture tucked against a wall and the room starts here, as opposed to a built-in piece where it would feel like you have this much space to move through.
Sure. Okay, so this is pretty much all of Riley's bathroom, but there is a guest bedroom, and they can use this from time to time, and you
Absolutely.
actually helped us design that one as well.
Yes, I did.
Well, Lisa, if I could book this room, I would reserve it for several days, because how many guest bedrooms have a view like that?
It is really amazing, isn't it?
It is.
And when you're working with a view like that, the last thing you want to do is upstage it with the wrong color palette. So I just chose this very warm, neutral wall color, and that worked very nicely as a backdrop for their artwork. This is an amazing boutique that they owned, and then the painting here is just something else.
Wow, and both of these have really bright, bold colors.
They do, yeah. The other thing that I was thinking when approaching this room is that it's a third of the entire second floor, and so it didn't make sense just to use it at the times that they had guests. So we added a nice, comfortable reading chair here in the corner. You can sit down, put your feet up on the corner of the bed, and get comfortable.
Okay.
And then I added a little bit of a workspace here for them as well.
Right, but a desk that's not too big.
Right, and it's white, which helps it to recede into the space. But by contrast, this is Jeff's grandfather's chair, and it's really special.
Wow, an antique in the room.
Right. And then as we leave, you can just see I used some vintage garden stools for side tables. They add a little bit of color and a nice, interesting contrast and texture.
Yeah, good idea.
As we walk through this doorway, we're coming into the master suite, and this is really where we are entering their private space. So I asked Andy to build this bookshelf. It's a nice place for them to put some of their special treasures.
Yeah, so they have wedding pictures and perhaps some driftwood they picked up out on the beach.
Right. And then as we come into the master bath, we've mirrored that shelf with this unit as well, and we just added some baskets, which makes it a little more storage friendly.
Good storage. Now, 2 separate vanities.
From a functional standpoint, that's ideal. It's nice to have your own sink. But also from an aesthetic, it really is very spa-like, and that was the direction we were headed.
Right, nice stone countertop. And the cabinet itself is very simple.
It has a lot of storage, though, which is
Wow, I'll
great.
say. And now they also wanted a soaking tub.
Right, that was very important to Michelle from the beginning. So we found her something nice and deep, and then we were able to find this beautiful hardware that has a little bit of an Asian feel to it, and they really like that aesthetic.
Right, definitely brings in the feel of a spa. and
Exactly.
Very calming.
Right.
Now, as we exit the bathroom, we go into the sleeping area, the master bedroom itself.
Right. And when I talked to Michelle about her vision for this space, she handed me a mussel shell that she had found on the beach. And if you think about the palette of a mussel shell, it starts with black and then transitions through all the purple family and goes into an opalescent white color.
So there's a whole range of colors.
Exactly.
And it looks like you headed towards the purple with this wall right here. I mean, that is very bold. We've seen that color before, and it can be overwhelming.
It can be. In a vacuum, this color is very strong, but we've toned it down with adding a nice piece of artwork. For example, Jillian Clark, who's my assistant, is a graduate of Rhode Island School of Design. She painted that piece exactly for that
Wow,
space.
seems very appropriate.
It is.
Now, the headboard and footboard are oak, a little bit darker wood.
Right, and this is something that the homeowners brought from their last home, and I added this bedspread, which has a little bit of a cottage feel, and it's very light in color, so it makes the room more spacious.
Right. You know, whenever you have a nook or a little recess in a room, that can always be difficult to deal with.
It can be, so I used it for a boutique hotel moment. I put in a nice comfortable chair here, and then above it I just hung a mirror that really serves 2 purposes. It's a nice reflection of the view across the way, and then the molding really has the feeling that it's the inside of a shell.
Right, you see that silver on
Exactly.
seashells.
Yeah.
Now, the best feature that's added into the bedroom is this deck. It's big,
It adds a ton of extra living space.
and on a clear day, you can see all the way across the bay. So I'd be up here every morning with a cup of coffee and a newspaper, and in the evening, I'd be watching the great sunsets.
Exactly, me too.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Well, Lisa, we are all excited to see the main event, which is the first floor, and appropriately it starts with our new entryway.
My very favorite thing about the entryway is the floor. It's blue stone tile.
Yeah.
It looks like pebbles found on the beach, but it's still a hard functional floor.
Well, there are actually going to be a lot of wet shoes on this floor. So for them, you guys built a bank of cubbies.
It's great storage, but it also adds a nice little architectural element.
All right. Well, cubbies in the entryway, but also cubbies as soon as you enter the house. Now, this is sort of a new addition, right?
Yes, this half wall needed to be here in order to really floor plan the main space properly. So we took an advantage of it and we built cubbies, and I asked Andy to paint a nice strong red color in the back to help highlight some of their art pieces.
And the homeowners do have strong taste in art, right? We see another piece of it displayed right here on another sort of half wall. And this one's important because it sort of sections off a seating area for the TV. So we've taken the wide open floor plan and we've choked it down just a little bit.
Yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of a waste space, and this half wall gave us the perfect place to mount the television so that we could sit here on the sofa, look at the TV, and still enjoy the view.
Because in this house, you never want to lose view of the ocean, do you?
Exactly.
Well, as we head to the back of the house, we have got ourselves a half bath to one side and the laundry room to the other. There's always been a laundry room here, but the last one was sort of dark and brown, and now we're talking lots of white, clean, very crisp colors in here.
Yep, there's great storage, there's plenty of workspace, a beautiful but very functional ceramic tile floor, and then hooks here where you can hang beach bags, towels, coats, whatever you need.
In this house, you can't have enough beach bags, right? Now, when I said the main event, this is actually what I was talking about right here, and this is where you see the wide open floor plan. And it's really 3 rooms in one. We've got the kitchen in one corner, the dining area in the second corner, and then the family room.
Right. This is where the main entertaining will happen, and so obviously we wanted to floor plan it in a way where you could really enjoy the view to its best advantage.
Yeah.
The sofa is here, and you look straight out onto the best view in the house.
The ocean.
And then there's also another pair here of quirky little deco chairs that have an equally beautiful view.
The ocean again, at least during the day. We know that at night these windows are going to go dark. So here in the corner, we've got ourselves a gas fireplace, a little punch of interest, and you'll be able to see that pretty much from this entire first floor, including the dining area. And for you, where does the dining area actually start?
I think it starts here with this painted cabinet. It has a little bit of red in it, which is balanced by the artwork on the opposing wall.
Flanked on either side by our new sconces, some of the light fixtures that we added to the house, including this one, I guess, what, the chandelier, I would call it. And our lighting designer said that this was her favorite fixture in the entire house.
I love it. It's a unique combination of being both modern and organic at the same time.
So it's unanimous, right?
Yes.
All right. And then we've got the boldest wall in the house. And I got to tell you, when it was just this stone tile, we were all kind of scratching our heads saying, you know, what's going on here? But now that you see it as the background for all of this artwork, I got to say it works.
Yeah, if you remember back to when we were in my office and I was showing you pictures of what they were hoping the project would turn out to be, there was a lot of exposed brick and stone, and this was an opportunity for me to give them that look.
I remember the pictures, but I don't remember seeing any tiki towers. But now we've got them, right? We've actually got some bold furniture in here.
Yep, I think that the stone wall really helps to temper all of that and create a nice little vignette. And then you have this really strong, beautiful art piece. It's a very good example of how you can take something non-traditional and frame it and create two-dimensional art.
Well, I'll tell you what, for me, I'm glad we're working with you again. It has been 5 months of a lot of work, but I got to say, it turned out fantastic. Congratulations.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you. Well, the opinions that really matter are Jeff's and yours, Michelle. And now that you're standing in your new kitchen, in your new house, what do you think?
I love it. It's open, it's functional, and it's gorgeous.
And it is so much different than it was 6 months ago when I walked through that door to meet you for the first time.
Yes, it
and
is.
into a narrow kitchen with a wall right here obstructing all of these views.
Yep.
And it was dated, you said, by about 40 years.
It needed a little updating.
So we had wood paneling for the backsplashes, we had laminate countertops, we had appliances that were ancient. It all had to go, and now look what we have.
Oh, it's fantastic. I have a couple favorite parts of the kitchen. I love the cherry cabinets, and especially the veneer, which reminds me of tidal pools with ebbs and flows and eddies and currents. And I also love the soapstone countertops, which are very, very natural and yet so dramatic. And this sea green veining is just so beautiful, and there's so much movement.
Well, they can look beautiful, but we've got to work in this kitchen too. So we've got ourselves a deep stainless steel sink, and all the appliances were actually chosen by Jeff, your husband, right? Because he's the chef.
Jeff does a lot of research on the internet before he picks a product, and he looked for very reliable, functional, and yet very sleek and modern.
Well, I think those are great words to describe your house, and to them I would add beautiful, thanks largely in part to you, Andy, and all of your guys. We gave you a lot to do in a very short time, and I think this is the time to say congratulations, job well done.
Well, thank you very much. We are really proud of how it came out, and it is phenomenal. But thanks to Jeff and Michelle for being great customers. Thanks to my crew and all my subcontractors. It really came out fantastic. And to This Old House crew.
Wow.
We enjoyed working with you so much.
It's been a lot of fun for us too, and our privilege. So for Richard, for Norm, for all of the guys on This Old House, we are signing off from our project here in Barrington, Rhode Island. So what do you say we have ourselves a party? All right. Coming up next time.
Today, we begin work on a 300-year-old house with an amazing history.
Back in 1775, a horseman came down this very road, got to this very spot, pounded on the door. Up, Mr. Page, the regulars are arrived.
We'll see what the house has to offer
I love this home, and I'd love to show it to you.
All right.
and what it's lacking. Right here on This Old House.